Welcome, and thank you for joining me today. Well, we are at the 13th moon. We went straight from 5 to 13, yet the 13th moon is a bit chaotic, so it makes sense that it would pop in, although it's not at random. The 13th moon occurs during a cycle where there is 2 full moons in 1 month. So every new moon where there is a blue full moon is a 13th moon. The 13th moon is symbolized by Coyote. This is the only moon where an animal is the symbol in the indigenous tradition. Coyote is a sacred trickster character. He brings chaos, but he is also credited with destroying and creating the world. He represents tests and trials, but also reminds us to laugh at ourselves. As the old saying goes, laughter is the best medicine. Oftentimes we take life too seriously. Now, as someone wisely pointed out, there is a 13th zodiac sign that can be assigned to the moon. That zodiac sign is Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus was a healer, like Chiron, and it was he that carried the caduceus that is often attributed to Hermes. Ophiuchus is known as the serpent bearer. This has interesting symbology. In many systems of belief, the serpent is described as the aspect that is important to spiritual evolution. Ophiuchus has tamed this serpent energy. This is similar to Leo's strength card, but here it is the raw energy of the serpent that has been tamed. The serpent represents the desire mind, the aspects of us that has an unquenchable thirst for the human experience in all of its forms. In the East, this raising of the vibration of the serpent energy is called a Kundalini awakening. The idea that Ophiuchus is a doctor and he represents the healing of desire energy is fascinating. Now, in alchemy, as Jason Lauderhand points out, we want to keep our desire. We also want to keep our ego, our personal identity, and individuation. We just don't need the survival mentality or the desire mind to be out of control. The way to tame and befriend those is by shadow work. Too often it's been taught to destroy or kill the aspects of ourselves we find undesirable, but that which we resist persists. Only when we make friends with the fact that those potentials exist within us, that which we dislike in others, does the shadow ebb and cease to control us. Then what remains is shades of gray as opposed to good versus evil. Besides, there are so many definitions of what is good and evil that overlap, it is hard to determine these days. The ruler of Ophiuchus, in my opinion, is the 13th planet, if you include the sun and moon, Eris. In the current scientific sense, Eris is planet X, or the 10th planet. Eris also, in my opinion, is the higher octave of Saturn. The reason I say this is because Saturn brings order to the planets, but Eris, as the planet of chaos, balances that out. Further, chaos is the result of individuation. The groupthink that once dominated falls aside when everyone has their own pursuits and identity. Group identity wanes. Yes, I'm including a lot of 13s in this blog. Keep in mind the indigenous part is based on my sources, but the rest is my conjecture. Now, another reason I say that Eris would be the higher octave of Saturn has to do with alchemy. In alchemy, this would be the hidden 13th step. We always start and end with Saturn. So just as the first step is Saturn, the hidden step in all the systems is Saturn again. Literally, we are meant to raise Saturn's vibration. That is what the 13th moon represents. This means that we are raising the vibration of Malkuth and returning it to the tree of life. Saturn is associated with lead, as I explained in my video on Saturn, which you can find in a playlist I am creating about the 7 planets. By returning to Saturn, we are raising the vibration of lead, associated with physical material reality. Now, in many traditions, it is believed that humanity and Earth itself fell in vibration. That is the story of Malkuth on the Kabbalah Tree of Life. So, raising Saturn means that we are raising up fallen Malkuth. Although this 13th moon could also be connected to the hidden Sephiroth, but I won't go into that here. Well, the 13th moon is certainly exciting, it is chaotic, but it is a bit fun, and the symbology here, especially since the 13th astrology sign of Ophiuchus and Eris are recently discovered, hints that perhaps we are coming into a new consciousness. I wrote a blog for that you can check out on my Weebly website account, but I won't go into that here, and I'm wishing you all a wonderful 13th moon cycle.